Hi, it's Carleen here from Gut Health Nutrition. Today I'm making a very special dish for a very special person. A friend of mine has asked for their birthday for me to make them their favourite meatballs. Now, because I don't follow a recipe every single time, it means that it could be a little bit different from the last one that they had, but it is going to be very similar. So this is very Asian inspired meatballs, and I'm using some beautiful fresh pork mince mixed with some beef mince, and for the purposes of the effort that it goes to, I'm going to double the batch so we've got some at home as well. So let's get going with making these beautiful Asian inspired meatballs. Into these beautiful meatballs I'm going to add some very zesty flavours, including some ginger, some galangal ginger and some turmeric. So I'm just going to grate those up, getting some herbs ready, including some Thai basil, just picking off these beautiful leaves. Just going to chop off the ends of these coriander, because as you know I save this, put that in the freezer, and I use that for something else, often in a stock or somewhere where I'm wanting to enhance that coriander flavour. So I put that in the freezer in a Ziploc bag, save that for another day. And I'm wanting 1/4 cup of chopped coriander for these meatballs, and I'll use 1/4 cup in something else. It's like more than 1/4 cup. Looks more like 1/2 cup. Then I remembered we're doubling the recipe anyway, so would be 1/4 cup of each for 500 grams of mince, but we're going to make it up into 1 kilo. Beautiful spring onions are going to go into so here we go. I've got some beautiful fresh beef mince. I know it's fresh because the butcher actually minced it in front of my eyes, and I was lucky enough to get some fresh pork mince as well, also minced in front of my eyes. So if we've got 1/2 kilo of each, it means we've got 1 full kilo of mince here in this bowl. These are going to be absolutely beautiful. Just going to mix these two together. Now into this I am putting 6 chopped spring onions. So that's going in. I'm also putting in the chopped coriander and Thai basil, which is going to give this that beautiful lift and that Asian flavour. Put it all in at once. I've also got some grated ginger. That's just some fresh ginger, some galangal ginger, some turmeric, and 3 cloves of garlic crushed in this. Oh my goodness, how much flavour. I did want to make it healthy, so that's why I've added in the turmeric as well. All of these flavours together, and the synergy of all of them together as well. Now in my family we are gluten-free, so instead of using panko crumbs, and you could use panko crumbs, but I have got rice crumbs going into this. That was 1/2 cup of rice crumbs. Now I'm going to crack in 2 eggs. As you know, I keep the eggshells for my garden. 2 eggs, that's going to help bind them. And we're going to add some more flavour to this now. So here is the flavour. I'm going to put in a couple of tablespoons of sesame oil. That gives it a divine flavour. And instead of using soy sauce, which you're welcome to use, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, because soy sauce is very high in amines, so anybody with heart conditions, asthma, migraines, anybody with that high histamine picture, you need to avoid soy sauce. So even though liquid aminos, the coconut aminos are slightly fermented, they're not as high in amines as your soy sauce. So I'm using a couple of tablespoons of the coconut aminos. Right, that is it. Now I'm going to make this up into balls and I'm going to air fry them in batches. That's going to be a really quick and simple way to make these. We want them bite size. Perfect little meatball to go on the end of a toothpick. And we'll be making a beautiful dipping sauce as well. Okay, these babies are going into the air fryer. They won't need any extra fat. And we'll just do them for 3 to 5 minutes each side, flipping them in the middle. So I will put the timer on for 3 minutes, check them. If they're not crispy on top, then I'll just add a couple more minutes to the frying, but it just makes them so quick and simple. I can do them in batches and then store them away for when we're going to consume them. Very easy. Putting that on high, which is 200, and we're just going to start with doing them for 3 minutes, see what they look like. Right, 3 minutes is up. That went past quickly. Oh no, that's not crispy enough. Another couple of minutes. That was 5 minutes, and I still don't think that's enough. All right, so let's adjust that and do it another 2 minutes, which would mean that is 7 minutes all together. Yep. Ah yes, 7 minutes is the charm. So that at least they're a little bit crispy on top. I'm going to flip them over and we're going to do 7 minutes on the other side. So that's 14 minutes in total. That's plenty. Okay, whilst we're getting the timing right on cooking the actual balls, I'm going to make a dipping sauce. And in this I'm going to use soy as the base. Now again, for my family being high amines, I'm going to use coconut aminos, but for my friend I'm going to use the soy sauce. It's about 1/4 cup of soy sauce with some Chinese wine vinegar, about 2 tablespoons of this. If I was making it a bit more Thai inspired, I would use fish sauce instead of this. Then we're going to just add a little bit of honey, but if this was for my family or somebody on a gut protocol, I would skip the honey. This is his birthday present, so I don't want to skip the honey for my friend today. About 1 tablespoon of honey. And then we're going to add in some sesame oil, just a teaspoon of sesame oil. I can see I need to buy more. I'm just about at the end of my sesame oil. And we're also going to use a teaspoon of chili oil, and I've got this chili lime. So this is just going to give it a little bit of a kick, but I know that it gives it a lot of kick. I accidentally used too much the other day. And then we're going to use some sesame seeds in that, which will make it a really lovely dipping sauce, because that will sit on top of the meatball when you dip it in. And I'm going to use a clove of garlic. Get that in. And of course, if you didn't tolerate garlic, especially garlic raw, you would either have some garlic roasted or you would leave the garlic out. Okay, just mix that up. Actually, I've got a little whisk here to do that. We've got a beautiful dipping sauce there. These go. There's more coming. But
Official taste test.
I know, because we can't send them out for a birthday gift if they're not amazing.
Are you going to try?
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Oh, cheers.
Ding.
Ding. Mm.
Mm. Ooh. Little bit spicy. Have a kick to 'em.
I put the whole thing in my mouth. Mm? Mm. Good enough.
Chef's kiss.
Mm.